buildings. So it's a great honor for me to be invited here as one of the speakers for the special session on Palestine starting from 4 o'clock today. But it's also a great honor for me to be requested to be moderator for these important sessions. Viability of global collaboration based on what Satihat and Tiong Gua. I got the instruction to ask each speaker to speak for 5 minutes. Yeah, hopefully you can finish at least around like 7, 8 minutes. I will focus on facilitation of the discussion for this session, but let me speak just for 1 minute before I start the session because there are some audience still here. I had the chance to walk around in Jakarta in the morning of November 9 because it was first time for me to come here. And I went to one of the biggest mosque, no, Masjid Iskil, the biggest mosque in the Southeast Asia. And I saw 100,000 people praying for the God as a Muslim. But I also found that there was a Georgia Cathedral, which is just next to this biggest mosque, and 100 people are praying for the God as a Christian. So it was very inspirational to see how people can coexist together in this time of the divisions. So let me introduce the first speakers for today's sessions. Is there Mrs. Elmira? Elmira is not here. So I'm very happy to introduce Mrs. Elmira Sadikova, Deputy Executive Director of the Russian Islamic World Foundation for Strategic Dialogue and Partnership, Russian Federation. So Mrs. Elmira, the floor is yours. Yes. Can you put the...
Good afternoon, estimated colleagues. Allow me to present the activities of the group of strategic vision, Russia Islamic world. But first of all, I should tell about our colleagues, Dr. Muhammad Din Shamsuddin. She is a long time a member of our groups from Indonesia. And he take activity in the whole our events. And this year, we're starting the new achievement. We start the project work. And I should say that that Dr. Muhammad sent us the most proposals, the most proposals than other members. And so, yes, thank you. And we are working, and I hope that your proposal will be very useful for our work. So, Russia Islamic world. It was established, next please point, established as strengthen cooperation between the Russia Federation and Islamic world. Our partnership, please, the next slide, yes. Our partnership is deeply rooted in history and has always been an essential dimension of Russia's foreign policy. Today, the group serves as a bridge between Russia and the Islamic world, facilitating the development of strong partnership, identifying priority areas, cooperation, and implementing joint international projects. The group activities encompass 3 key areas: investment and economic cooperation, social and cultural development, humanitarian engagement. Yes. To better understand the significance and scope of the group's work today, it is worth recalling the landmark year of 2005, when the Russian Federation joined to Organization of the Islamic Conference, now the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, as an observer. Shortly thereafter, in the next years, the Group of Strategic Vision Russia-Islamic World was established as initiative of President of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. Next year, the group will mark in the 20th century anniversary of its activity. The founders, co-chairs of the group were outstanding and influenced public and political figures of Russia, Yevgeny Primakov, former Prime Minister of Russia, and Mintimir Shaimiev, the first President of the Republic of Tatarstan, Russian Federation. A new stage in the group's development began in 2014, when the duties of the chairman of the group were assigned to the president, now it's Rais, of the Republic of Tatarstan, Rustam Minikhanov. The first meeting in June 2015 of the group in its updates format was held in Moscow. In the following years, meeting took place in various regions of Russia, including Grozny, Makhachkala, and Ufa, and the same. Since 2022, the group's meetings in the Republic of Tatarstan have traditionally been held in Kazan, is the capital of the Republic of Tatarstan, in conjunction with the International Economic Forum, Russia Islamic World, Kazan Forum, which has become the main platform for economic cooperation between Russia and the states of Islamic world. This year, for example, the agenda was devoted to youth policy, addressing its challenges and identifying joint responses. In different years, the discussions have also focused on issues of interfaith dialogue, economic partnership, and global security. Today, the group includes 78 well-known government, public and political figures from Russia and 25 foreign countries. For example, I'm glad to see Dr. Hamid Shahriari. Yes, yes. He is a member of our group from Iran, yes. Last year, those in November, we had an annual meeting of our groups in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Prime Minister of Malaysia was our guest, and he opened our annual meeting in Kuala Lumpur. Under the patronage of the group, a wide range of events are held: forums, scientific and political conferences, festivals, roundtables, youth and other events are held in Russia and abroad. Among the promising areas for the group's further development, special attention is given to applied projects and establishing the Friends of Group clubs. And I think Dr. Muhammad Shamsuddin will help us to organizing in Indonesia the friends of our groups, inshallah. You know, the groups aspires to promote principles of human relations, mutual assistance, human values, justice, good neighbors, and mutual respect. As core of the group's mission lies the belief to the genuine cooperation among nations can only flourish through the strengthening of trust and dialogue of cultures and religions. Also, we understand the dialogue it needs. Without dialogue, no peace. But, you know, it's more important to stay some, you know, mechanism, to understand what mechanism we need for realizing this dialogue. And should be some platform where we can to realize this dialogue. And I understand that today forum is one of the mechanism of development this dialogue. So thank you for attention.
So thank you very much. So next speaker is Mr. Tan Sri Michael Yo, President of KSI Strategic Institute for ASEAN Pacific, Malaysia. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much, moderator, my distinguished fellow panelists, Professor Din, Shamsuddin, ladies and gentlemen. Salam, shalom, peace be unto all. Let me start by extending our heartiest congratulations to Professor Din Shamsuddin and his committee for the excellent organization of the 9th World Peace Forum. The forum, I believe, will make an impact on the world going forward. Today, the world faces fragmentation, distrust, and multipolar rivalries, characterized by the three Cs: conflict, chaos, and confrontation. We need to therefore forge another three Cs to move forward: collaboration, communication, and conciliation to achieve peace. Wasitiyah, the Muslim principles of moderation, tolerance, and justice, and the Tionghoa values of harmony, balance, ethics, and long-term relationship provide a middle path forward towards building and sustaining peace. To Christians, Jesus Christ is a Prince of Peace. So all religious groups promote peace, harmony, and understanding. Interfaith dialogue is more important today than ever before. We need to therefore enhance our common and shared values. The world today needs more dialogues and collaboration for peace and sustainable development. We need to actively promote the three Ps: planet, people, and peace through partnership. Supporting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs, is one way forward where different faiths and religions can work together to ensure sustainability and that no one is left behind. Collaboration and partnership for the SDGs can help promote peace, stability, and understanding. I would like to propose that perhaps the World Peace Forum can initiate a global faith alliance for peace and sustainability, bringing together governments, business, the third sector, and faith groups to enhance sustainability practices to protect the planet. Recently, Pope Leo in the Vatican has also called for the protection of nature, which is critical to protect the environment. This week, COP30 commences in Brazil. Faith groups, businesses, and civil society can enhance greater collaboration on climate resilience. We need to ensure environmental justice as well as to protect social and economic justice. I believe faith groups, business groups, and civil society organizations can work together on peace building, education, and poverty alleviation. Building trust, better understanding, and cooperation is essential. Business must recognize that doing good is good business. Governments must also appreciate the role of NGOs and civil society. We should think also about the possibility of developing a new social media for the Global South that can provide a narrative from the Global South and not be just dependent on Western narratives. These can better promote our religious harmony and tolerance and commitment to save the planet in a fair and just manner to the rest of the world. Finally, to ensure our plans and initiatives are sustainable in the long term, we should promote and advance the next generation leadership as they will shape our future world. Our youth will be the bridge builders and peace builders of the future. Our youth must have faith, commitment, and trust in building a better, fairer, and more sustainable future. Thank you. Terima kasih banyak.
Thank you very much for great presentations. Also very precise, like just 5 minutes. After we finished all the presentation by the speakers, we would like to have some active discussion between the participant and the panelists. So, yeah, please prepare your. Hopefully, you can prepare the question and the comment for that Q&A sessions. So, next speaker is Ms. Tang Jun Lam, PhD. Lam. PhD Senior Researcher of the Research Center for Society and Culture, Indonesia. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. First, I want to make a disclaimer. I'm not a leader of any organization, and also I'm not expert on Islam. I work for the National Research and Innovation Agency, previously known as Indonesian Institute of Science. My focus of interest is about ethnicity and nation building, also conflict studies, and also about Chinese Indonesians. I was at the beginning is assigned for the earlier session. So in a sense, I've tried to compare between the Wasatiyat and the Tionghoa. But it seemed very difficult to see the similarity between these two because I think many of us will understand. Wasatiyat is a concept, but Tionghoa is an identity. It's related to the kinship, ethnicity, and also the nation. And then on the issue of citizenship, we have a kind of problematic that divided a lot of Chinese in the world into diaspora. We know that Chinese from Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, we all different. Even in Indonesia, we can find a very diverse group. You can find Chinese Muslim, and also you can find Christian Chinese, and also in every area of Indonesia, you can find Chinese from Kalimantan, Chinese from Medan and Java, all totally different. And we have a different kind of experience in every area. So I think it's rather difficult to see how the Tionghoa and Wasatiyat related in that issue. But when we explore the core value, we can see that actually Tionghoa have the so-called concept yin-yang. In that sense, we can also see how it's related to balance. I think early Mr. Lee talking about Chongyong, also that's a middle path. But the problem is that if you see how the Chinese thinking is more individual level, interpersonal relation. So harmony in that sense, not between community, is more between individual. So the connection between Chinese in every area, like you say in business and everything, but not related as a community. I have to tell you that in 1998, after my conflict in Indonesia, we tried to build the so-called Chinese party, but it didn't work because of this. Chinese is too diverse, even in Indonesia. So when we talking about in this core value, I see the cooperation should be in the level of individuals. So probably we have to find a strategy is not between community, because Tionghoa is not one community. The way I see it, I see from our research about the generation, we facing generation gap in this era, like the gap between the baby boomer, millennium group, and then also the Gen Z and the Alpha group. I find that one study about how youngster of the Muslim group is trying to search for their identity. It's not changing religion, but they try to find their identity as a person, as a human being in this problematic world into meditation and many of kind. So I think in the future, what we need is trying to help the young people with the how they balance the relationship interpersonally and then between the community. From my experience in the office, most of them are Muslim. You're very good in sharing. That's the community issue for the Muslim in Indonesia. But in the personal relationship, you know, is really problematic because in the sense, most of them are not really finding their own identity as a person. They being taught since little they are Muslim. That's okay. But the problem is that they cannot find their place in the world. It almost similar what we Chinese Indonesian experienced at the beginning, before the 1998, that we cannot also find our identity. Some of the Chinese try to hide their identity and pretend they are indigenous Indonesian. But after 1998, suddenly they finding. So a lot of Chinese try to reclaim and try to find their ancestor. So for 30 years of the New Order period, they trying to hide it and then try to pretend they are not Chinese. So I think in a sense, this, the way I see it, the Muslim pay attention to what you call it, every morning, even the mother, you know, they gather together early morning. I think pengajian, what is in English? Pengajian pagi, Pak. So that kind of thing. Okay, so it sense they not really dealing with what women passing and children passing in personal life. We have this fighting between school and everything else. So I think we have to pay attention more about the younger generation, the personal education and the personal life, especially emphasize the life skill in our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you very much. So I'd like to introduce Professor and Dr. Didik Bini, Rector para Madinah University, Indonesia. What is yours?
Thank you for Professor Higashi. Yeah. My name is Didik Rahbini. I'm the economist. Yeah. I want to answer about viability of Wasatya and Tionghoa values from economic perspective, because I'm the economist. Yeah. The first, we have to think about the ethical foundation for justice and sustainable globalization. Yeah. Because source of war, conflict is economic resource. Yeah? From my perspective, Wasatya and Tionghoa promote balanced harmony, principle that correct moral deficit of modern capitalism, yeah? Which often prioritize profit over equity. Yeah? Wasatya and Tionghoa, I think it's good to involve moderation, adil, yeah, and harmony into global cooperation, because this encourage human-centered growth rather than profit, rather than exploitative competition, rather than exclusive growth. Yeah? And we have to combine, or we have to have more friends, yeah? Because many scientists promote SDGs, yeah? Islamic finance and Confucian corporate ethic in line with SDGs. So we have so many friends to go to promote this ethical, this Wasatya and Tionghoa values. Yeah. The second, yeah, moderation as framework of economic justice. Source of problem, conflict in the world is justice. Yeah. Yeah. The middle path approach challenges extreme capitalism, profit without ethic. Yeah. Selling rice make profit. Selling drug make profit. From positive economic, this is not different. But from moral economic, this is different. Yeah. So Wasatya, yeah. The second, yeah, Wasatya economic call for balance between market efficiency and social equity. Yeah. While Tionghoa tradition emphasize moral reciprocity, yeah, in economic relation. Yeah. So both together will promote more stable and fair political economy, reducing inequality, social unrest, and so on. Yeah? And the third, political of economy of cooperation much better than over competition or cutthroat competition. So this has happened in the world, in our countries, and so on. Yeah? And finally, yeah, finally, peace as economic public good. Yeah, we know in the economy we differentiate private good and public good. Yeah, so we have to enrich the public good for justice for all. Yeah, and the last, we have to consider culture as capital. Yeah, because without capital, without culture, economic activity, economic justice cannot be met. Yeah. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor. Yeah, it was very precise and actually very quick. So I would like to introduce Dr. Iqbal Sachilanie, OBE, former Secretary General of European Muslim Council UK. So floor is yours.
Thank you, moderator. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Our respected host, Professor Dean Shamsuddin of the World Peace Forum, and the conference sponsor, Tan Sri Lim Kim Kyu, Your Excellencies, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today and yesterday, we have had a fair bit of discussion on the concept of Wasatiyya, the principle of Wasatiyya, the understanding of this very important principle. And at the outset, one must forgive us if there is a fair bit of repetition, because there's so much of divergence of views on this very important subject that sometimes those key points are coming in and again. But before I start with my deliberation, I would like to thank the World Peace Forum for giving me the opportunity to attend this beautiful city of Jakarta, and the wonderful people from Indonesia and all other friends that we meet time and again at various conferences. When I address the subject of the viability of global collaboration based on Wasatiyya and Tionghoa, the two timeless philosophies that converge in their pursuit of moderation, balance, and harmony as guiding principles for human coexistence. Today, they act as a guide for navigating the challenges in our fragmented and a difficult world that we are living in. One must not underestimate the concerns, the problems which the world community is facing today. and particularly when we are targeted because of our faith and the identity we come from. And therefore, one can only welcome this important topic of considering Wasatiyat and Tiangu for global collaboration. So, various messages have been conveyed at the conference in the last 2 days as a middle path representing a commitment to moderation, balance, and justice. The principle that comes out of it also makes it clear that we reject extremism and indifference, advocating moral balance and fairness as the foundation for peace. Historically, it has enabled peaceful coexistence across various cultures and faiths, including the time of the Ottoman millet system. It has also shown an acceptance between faiths, governance, and diversity, which fosters resilience. But it also, as we understand, that Tiangu is rooted in Confucian thought, which emphasizes moral cultivation. So there's a clear divergence of views from different faith communities and identities on this principle. All of it basically teaches us harmony is achieved through mutual respect and not necessarily through uniformity. It asserts that our difference enrich society when guided by virtue and restraint. And also, it is clear that in the prominent East Asian traditions of diplomacy, where dialogue and restraint are seen as essential for lasting peace. So, using Wasatiyat and Tiangu, one can present a universal framework for harmony and balance. It is essential for sustained global collaboration beyond religion and geography. So what are the challenges that we are facing today? Of course, the rising political turbulence, economic inequality, rising polarization, disregard for international law, disregard for the concerns of humanity. This seems to be a very common concern across. Sadly, the global institutions like the UN, African Union, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, they all struggle to bridge these issues that arise from mistrust and competing national interests. In such times, religious and community leaders must step forward to remind governments and institutions that peace cannot endure where justice is denied, and international law cannot be applied selectively. And we have seen very much in the last few years, particularly in the issue of Gaza and Palestine, how international law has been totally disregarded and respect for humanity at its lower level. In all these matters, I think one key issue that emerges is the role of youth, young people coming up. I was a young person when I started joining my student society, various organizations at the age of 18 and 20. And working through various organizations, Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me the opportunity to serve my community at the local, national, and more importantly now at international level. I was elected as the Secretary General of the Muslim Council of Britain at a young age, and as a national umbrella body representing the Muslim community in the UK, the first of its kind, where the leadership is elected democratically, and the role of it is working through with all background of Muslim community. But the emphasis I want to make is how the leadership passes to a younger generation. And I'm fortunate today that we have with us our, the former Secretary General that came in fact, her term just concluded last year, Zara Mohammed, she's with us, was elected as a young sister of the largest umbrella body of the UK because of her interest in trying to serve the community. And therefore, there has to be an openness in our minds that we can have sisters, we can have young people coming in the society to serve the common interest of ourselves. And this is a concern across the communities, particularly, I believe, also in Muslim countries and others as well, where there is a reluctance in allowing our young people to come up. Therefore, I'm so pleased to see so many people in Indonesia, particularly our young people up here, playing its role. And I'm sure the leadership, all of us here, started at a very young age. So this is something, so I think it needs to emphasize that the concept of wasatiyah in terms of its importance, both where the Muslim communities are in minorities and in Muslim major countries. Both concepts are relevant in each society. And we need to see how wasatiyah can be handled and worked in larger Muslim countries, majority Muslim like Indonesia, Pakistan, and the Middle Eastern countries. But also, wasatiyah has its own role when Islamophobia is emerging in a major way. The concerns of migrants are being now exploited to the extent that there's a concern about civility of how we can communicate. So in conclusion, I can only say that the polarization that is taking place is to gravitate towards extreme in all aspects of our lives, whether in politics, religion, social issues. And the final message I would like to give is that the religious leaders from all the faith communities have a very important responsibility. We are people of faith. And in a secular society in other countries, sometimes we are denigrated. We have been seen as perhaps not relevant to the modern concerns. But it is the faith leaders, I believe, who can play a key role in time of crisis, and particularly now when we see a vacuum there, where politicians have failed miserably. They've got their own agenda, the dominance in the world. There's no concern of national sovereignty. There's no concern about the human rights of basic people, where occupation can take place at a level where there's total disregard. Who is there to take this matter forward? And as faith leaders, as people of faith who believe that their prime responsibility is to the Creator, and the purpose of us in our life is to bring the difference for the betterment. So I urge our faith leaders across from all different faith communities to come forward, don't be hesitate, and take the leading role that is needed to bring an end to these areas of serious concern, particularly issues of humanity and the concerns for our own self-preservance of the natural life in our societies. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you.
Okay, so next speaker is a PDT Jakribim Manupiti, Chairman of Communication of Churches in Indonesia. The floor is yours. Hopefully by 5 minutes to 7.
Good morning, dear esteemed participants of the 9th World Peace Forum. Please allow me to convey my deep appreciation and gratitude to Professor Din Samsudin and the committee for inviting me to attend this prestigious forum. As I participate in this meeting and discovered the depth of meaning in the concept of wasatiyah and Tionghoa value, as a Christian, I felt that we are united by similar traditions that are in harmony in terms of perspective and moral an ethical imperative. The middle path resonated by the concept of wasatiyat, and Confucianism philosophy also echoes in the Christian tradition. Thus, three traditions, Islam, Confucius, and Christianity, teach us that true strength lies not in domination, but in balance, understanding, and soothing love. Brothers and sisters, Indonesia is incredibly diverse in every aspect, making it rich in local wisdom that align with the concept of the middle path. Over the past 15 years, churches in Indonesia have promoted the concept of Ugahari spirituality as a way of thinking and behaving that must be prioritized in church and community life. This concept originated from Japanese philosophy, which describes an attitude of restraint, avoiding greed, sharing, and solidarity with those who suffer. The spirituality is in line with Christian value based on the teaching and behavior of Jesus. Our Ministry of Religion Affairs has underlined the term moderation in connection with the meaning of middle path. He stated that the indicators of religious moderation used are four things, namely national commitment, tolerance, anti-violence, and accommodating local culture. In Christianity in general, moderation is actually more related to simplicity, or what is commonly referred to as modesty, as promoted by Ugahari concept. The spirituality of Ugahari is the wisdom of life based on the understanding that God loves all His creation. Self-control and simple living are human responses to God's grace, so that all creation can celebrate the life God has given. Ugahari spirituality is the spirit of sharing regardless of social identity, especially with those who are most vulnerable in society, namely the marginalized and oppressed. The spirituality also applies to other religions, so that all creation will live in God's peace through love shared with everyone. Self-control in this meaning is related to guarding oneself from things that produce pleasure, such as eating, drinking, sex, as well as emotion and anger. Eating and drinking are necessities which must be distinguished from the satisfaction of lust. Moderation is directing this thing to be in line with practical wisdom and divine law. Moderation, or Ugahari, is based in the Christianity on Jesus and His teaching. Jesus' teaching about loving God and loving others as the most important law in the main basis of moderation. Jesus' teaching also about the Good Samaritan is rebuke to exclusivity and absolutism. Brothers and sisters, now we are living the age of polarization and extremism. Many conflicts arise from ideological extremists. So Wasatiyat, as well as Tionghoa, and also another similar term in the Christianity, advocates us for middle ground, fostering tolerance and coexistence. We also live in an age of economic inequality, the gap between the global north and global south. So moderation is consumption of fair distribution, again, aligns with the sustainable development goals. And also we are facing the climate crisis. So the Wasatiyat principle of balance can inspire responsibility, stewardship of resources, and also in many different regions, cultural conflict. So the middle path value encourage intercultural dialogue and respect, reducing the identity-based tension. And the last one, we are living and struggling with the digital age challenges. So promote ethical use of technology, avoiding extremism of surveillances or total freedom without accountability. I have to stop here, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope it's not past the 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Yes. So we have more three speakers. One is Professor and Dr. Kamaluddin Hidayat, former rector of UIN Jakarta and chair at the Press Council of Indonesia. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Let me try to use in 5 minutes. Well, I try to share my observation, my experience of being Muslim who live in Indonesia. One thing that I observe is that the distinct character of Islam in Indonesia stems from the unique synthesis of universal Islamic principle with the archipelago's rich local cultural and religious landscape. Characterized by a least urbanized nature, Indonesian Islam is a product of its geographical distance from the Islamic heartland, its history of peaceful conversion through trade and mystical teaching, and its deeply ingrained pluralistic social structure. There are some key words to understand Islam in Indonesia. Historically, of course, it is not nowadays. First is the influence of pre-existing Hindu-Buddhist tradition that resonated with Islamic mysticism. Two, the role of coastal cosmopolitan trading cities as open gateways for Islam. Number three, the economic self-sufficiency of various regions which discourage religious conquest to other regions. Four, the promotion of wasatiyah, moderation, as a living tradition by major Islamic organizations. Ultimately, the Indonesian experience presents a compelling case study of majority Muslim society where religion coexists dynamically with pluralism and local wisdom. Some key words will be familiar if you study about Islam in Indonesia. First is Indonesian Islam. Of course, it is cultural Islam. Second, Islam Nusantara. It used to be promoted by Nahdlatul Ulama. And progressive Islam, promoted by Muhammadiyah. Islam Wasatiyah, cultural synthesis, pluralism, and coexistence. Those keywords is take a key to understand Islam in Indonesia. Well, let me briefly continue my exploration. The Indonesian model of Islam presents a critical study in the successful integration of a global faith within a specific cultural historical context. Its least urbanized character is not a sign of incompleteness, but rather an indicator of its deep and mature rootedness in the local soil. The synthesis of Islamic teaching with the archipelago's pluralistic heritage, its history of peaceful conversion through mystical and commercial channel, and its ingrained social norm of coexistence have given rise to a resilient tradition of wasatiyah or moderation in Indonesia. In a word, often riven by religious conflicts and polarization, the living tradition of Indonesian Islam stands as powerful testament to the possibility of a faith that is both devout and deeply tolerant, offering valuable lessons for fostering peace and understanding in the global Muslim community and beyond. In an era marked by global religious polarization and the rise, to some extent, what we call fundamentalism, the living tradition of Indonesian Islam presents a critical and powerful counter-narrative. It stands as an empirical refutation of the supposed inevitability of clash between devout religious commitment and modern pluralism. Where other contexts often present a forced choice between secular alienation and religious absolutism, the Indonesian experience embodied in the practice of wasatiyah and the concept of Islam, progressive Islam and Islam Nusantara, demonstrate a viable third way of Islam practiced in Indonesia. This model proves that a society can draw deeply from its religious wellspring to foster civic harmony rather than conflicts, offering a tangible example that challenges the ideological underpinning of both religious extremism and militant secularism. The potency of example lies in its deep historical roots and its mass institutionalization. Muhammadiyah and NU is the big pillar of Islam Wasatiyah in Indonesia. This is not a state-led propaganda project, no superficial liberal reinterpretation of faith imposed from above. Rather, it is theologically grounded tradition cultivated over centuries and stewarded by colossal socio-religious organizations with vast grassroots membership. When organizations like
7 minutes has passed, so could you conclude it? Sorry, yeah.
1 minute, okay.
Yeah.
Consequently, the Indonesian model offers invaluable practice lessons for the global community and for multi-ethnic societies worldwide. For Muslims, it provides a living case study in how to engage with modernity, diversity, and nationalism without sacrificing religious identity, a crucial dialogue in many post-colonial nations. Okay, I think stop here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I think we have one presentation by online. I think it's a video recording by Mrs. Valeria Martano, advisor to the Pontifical Council for Interreligious Relations and Dialogue / Community of Santi Egidio. So
thank you for this invitation. Even though it was impossible for me to attend in presence, I'm happy to give my humble contribution to this video. I greet Professor Din Shamsuddin, the initiator and promoter of the World Peace Forum, and all the honorable speakers and attendants. In the present situation of the world, while we are facing terrible struggles because of conflicts, polarizations, and wars, we do really need a global collaboration to reaffirm the value of dialogue and collaboration between cultures and religions. We are facing a crisis of multilateralism, even though we have to say that Indonesia is strongly committing for it, and an increasing polarization of the international scenario with the multiplication of conflicts. More than 50 wars are active all over the world. But we have to acknowledge also that there is an increasing relevance of the non-state actors, such as community leaders, policymakers, religious leaders, scholars, peace builders. In one word, the civil society. We ask ourselves, what is our role to the possible path for global collaboration? It's not a minor one, I dare to say. As a Catholic representative, member of the community of Sant'Egidio, and advisor of the Pontifical Dicastery for Interreligious Dialogue, engaged in dialogue between cultures and religions for over than 30 years, I can witness how this role has been increasing along the recent history. If the global politics is going in the direction of enlarging the divisions between nations with the resurgence of nationalisms, religious communities have chosen another way, the one of mutual recognition, respect, and even fraternity. We must be aware of the importance of this, which is a priceless resource for the human ecology. This path on the Catholic point of view, has been marked by some milestones that I would like to quote briefly. First, the document Nostra Aetate, whose 60th anniversary we celebrate this year, delivered in 1966 during Second Vatican Council. It marks a total revolution of the attitude of the Catholic Church towards the world. From the previous thinking, extra ecclesia nulla salus, no salvation out of the Church, Catholics moved to a totally different mindset by saying that, I quote, "The Church exhorts her sons that through dialogue and collaboration with the followers of other religions, they recognize, preserve, and promote the good things, spiritual and moral, as well as the social-cultural values found among them." It was 1965. And then the second milestone was in 1986, when Pope John Paul II called the leaders of all religions to pray for peace in Assisi. Religions started then to look together in the same direction and got a common task, being artisans of peace. We can say that from that meeting, many things have changed in the relationships between peoples, religions, and cultures. When globalization was unifying our planet only on a financial level, enlarging differences and creating divisions that are exploding in recent time in never-ending conflicts, religions started moving towards a globalization of spirit and have created several meaningful alliances which represent a resource for the present and the future of humanity. And humanity, as the common ground on which religions can build peace, was the focus of the third step that I wish to stress, which is the document on human fraternity for world peace signed in February 2019 by Pope Francis and the Grand Imam Al-Azhar, Sheikh Al-Tayeb. After so many centuries, Islam and Christianity finally look to one another as brothers and sisters and invite one another to, I quote, "work strenuously to spread the culture of tolerance and of living together in peace, intervene at the earliest opportunity to stop the shedding of innocent blood and bring an end to wars, conflicts, environmental decay, and the moral and cultural decline that the world is presently experiencing." In this document, interreligious dialogue is definitely and strenuously connected to a shared commitment to social justice, equality, and peace. Dear friends, so many bonds of mutual respect and collaboration have been growing between personalities and groups of different cultural and religious backgrounds, which have proven to be of fundamental importance. It's not just a feeling, but we got many achievements, concrete results that contribute to the positive evolution of the world towards a shared culture of peace. Let me mention only some of these here, because they involve me personally and Professor Shamsuddin, the promoter of this forum. The joint commitment of the community of Sant'Egidio and Muhammadiyah in various peace processes in Central Africa, in the Rohingya crisis, and in the Bangsamoro peace process that brought to the peace agreement signed in March 2014. In conclusion, let me say that the middle path, which is the heritage of moderation, mutual respect, and even fraternity, as the way to promote and implement collaboration among women and men of different faiths and cultures, is highly needed today, more than ever. And its implementation is our duty, our commitment, and our heritage for the future generations. Thank you.
So thank you very much. So last speaker is Mufti D. Safiyanov, Head of Spiritual Administration Muslim of the Chabesh Republic Christian Federations. You have 5 minutes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
أنا هنا.
Please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اسمحوا لي أن أحييكم جميعا في هذا الحدث المهم الذي جمع نخبة من الشخصيات المؤثرة في الرأي العام أحييكم باسم مفتي روسيا الشيخ البير خضرة قرغانوف وباسم شخصي أيضا. مبدأ الاعتدال بالغ الأهمية، لأن أي تعصب يؤدي إلى تطرف التعصب، وهو داء يصيب المجتمع الإسلامي، داء يصعب معالجته. لقد تمكنا في روسيا منذ فترة طويلة من إنشاء الأدوات التي نستخدمها ضد هذه الظاهرة، وهي مفيدة وتحقق نتائجا، والدولة توفر دعما شاملا للمنظمات الإسلامية وتساعد وتحمي حقوق المسلمين، وليس مسلمون فقط بل كل من يعيش في فيدرالية روسيا. وليس من المستغرب أن يجمع رئيسنا فلاديمير بوتين الزعماء دينيين مسيحيين ومسلمين ويهودا وغيرهم في يوم الوحدة الوطنية، فالدين إن لم يتعايش مع الدولة فالطريق مسدود، لا يتسنى لنا تطور إلا بدعم الدولة، ويجب مدح رئيسنا على هذا المسعى. خلال 30 عاما الماضية تم بناء أكثر من 20,000 مسجد في روسيا الاتحادية، مع فتح مساجد جديدة كل يوم، ويتم ذلك دائما بدعم من الدولة. تم بناء هيكل تعليم الإسلامي متكامل يشمل جميع المراحل من التعليم الأول ووصولا إلى التعليم العالي. نحن نلقي المحاضرات في الجامعات والمدارس الحكومية، ولا يمر أي حدث حكومي دون المشاركة الإمام. يضمن رئيسنا لنا حرية الدين، ويدعم أيضا المسلمون من الدول الأخرى. نحن ممتنون للدول الإسلامية لأنه لم تصدر أي دولة الإسلامية واحدة أي تصرف ضد روسيا في الحرب ضد الأيديولوجية الغربية. نشكركم جزيل الشكر على الدعوة لسيد دين شمس الدين، ونرجو أن تزداد الصداقة قوة بين روسيا وإندونيسيا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Okay, thank you very much. And so we finished all the presentation by the great speakers. So I'd like to open the floor. I hope you can conclude your comment question by 1 minute so that we can get many questions as much as possible. And also I appreciate questions
Dr.
so that we can have exchange.
Fajrullah from Egypt.
And I hope panelists can take a note about questions so that you can respond to the question as well. Yeah. Who could be the first?
No. Doctor.
Yes, you have.
Oh.
Yes.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. قادة الفكر، اسمي رابح فرج الله من الجزائر. From Algeria. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قادة الفكر، حماة الحقيقة، صناع السلام العالمي، السيدات الفضليات والسادة الأفاضل، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أرجو أن أكون موفقا في اختصار هذه الفكرة، وإن شئت قلت هذه الحيرة لموضوع هذا الملتقى الوسطية والاعتدال في سياق الحضارة الإنسانية. ولا أخفيكم سرا، بل لا أبثكم أيضا ولا أزيدكم علما إن قلت أن هذه المصطلحات ما عاد يرجى منها، وذلك لأنها صارت مكررة وممجوجة لدى الشارع. فيجب كما أسلف المتحدثون تحديد هذه المصطلحات والمفاهيم وتلك المفردات التي تخدم السلام العالمي، ولا نحسب أي حساب، وأن نكون بعيدا جدا عن المصانعة والتملق على حساب الحقيقة. ويجب ألا ننطق وألا نكتب إلا بالأمر الذي نرى فيه صلاح الحال والمآل للإسهام بما من شأنه تحسين الأوضاع وصنع الفارق في مثل هذه المجالات الفكرية. ونقول إن الكلام عن مفهوم الوسطية والاعتدال ونبذ التطرف والإرهاب في ظل وجود دبابة مدمرة وسلاح فتاك وأجسام في مضامين أجسام بشرية في مضمون وحوش، هذا يجعل من اجتماعاتنا وكلماتنا يعني صرخة في واد لا قيمة لها. والسؤال الذي أسأله: هل هذه الملتقيات المعني بها هم المفكرون، أم أننا إذا ما خرجنا بنتائج وخوارج من هذه الجلسة أن نرجع إلى أقوامنا فنحثهم على السلام؟ أنا في الشرق الأوسط وفي إفريقيا إذا ما واجهت قومي بالحديث عن السلام والوسطية إما أن يتهموني بالجنون أو بأنني عميل وخائن. كيف لا وقد ما زالت الذاكرة القريبة والوجدان فيه كل هذا الدمار الذي مر علينا من سنتين على غزة أقصد.
Could you conclude the question? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Can we get another question, maybe? And then we will ask the panelists. Yes, please. Yes.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. سؤالي موجه إلى المفتي إلياس. قد ذكرتم طيب كيف تمكنتم من علاج التعصب موجود وانتشار التعصب في بلادكم؟
Okay, so can you respond?
نعم، السؤال يعني كيف يعني خرجنا من التعصب؟ نعم، الحمد لله. يعني العلاج أن يكون هكذا. نحن يوجد عندنا المدارس من ابتدائية وإلى عالية، والأئمة والمدرسين يدرسون فقط، يعني الطلاب يدرسون فقط في روسيا، ومذهبنا حنفية ومذهبنا شافعي يوجد، ولكن لا يوجد المدرسين والمعلمين لغير روسيين. ودولة يعني يريد منا، يعني من الاجتماع المسلمين، أن يكون مدرسين والمعلمين والخطاب فقط الروسيين، وفقط الذين يعني كان يعني يعلم ويدرس فقط في روسيا. ممكن فإذا يعني أن يدرس بعد المدارس في روسيا، ممكن أن يدرس في الدول الأخرى، الدول الإسلامية، ولكن الآن يعني أولا في روسيا، ثم وهكذا أن يكون يعني كيف وحدانية في العلم وفي الجماعة هكذا.
Thank you very much. That's great. In terms of the question from the Algerian colleague, somebody can respond to him? Maybe, Doctor? What is the purpose of this forum here?
Yeah, I just want to explain that the purpose of our meeting today is to explore viability of implementation of the ideas. Implementation of the ideas Wasatiyah and Tionghoa values from different perspectives, different countries. But from myself, from economic perspective, there are some different perspectives to do that. That's one.
Thank you. We have two questions over there. Yes.
ليس السؤال وإنما هو معالي الدكتور أشار إلى الاقتصاد الإسلامي، وفي هذه المناسبة يمكن الربط بين الوسطية والمنظور الاقتصادي في الإسلام للتنمية المستدامة التي تقوم على عمارة الأرض وتزكية النفس في إطار سلم من الضروريات والتحسينيات والكماليات كما حددها كبار فقهاء الإسلام الإمام الجويني والإمام الشافعي والإمام الشاطبي. أما على المستوى الجزئي فنجد أن من مقاصد الشريعة الإسلامية في المال أنه جلب المنافع ودرء المفاسد. وسأعطي مثالا واحدا على حرية تداول الأموال. حرية تداول الأموال هناك وسائل تحقق ذلك، فنجد أن حرية تداول الأموال بين الجيل الحالي تكون من خلال وسيلة الزكاة والوقف، وبين الأجيال من خلال الميراث والوصية. إذا أخذنا الزكاة تؤخذ من الأغنياء وتعطى للفقراء، والفقراء يشترون بأموال الزكاة من الأغنياء، فتستمر الدورة النقدية في الاقتصاد مثل الدورة الدموية. أيضا أشير إلى أن العدل، مقصد العدل في تداول الأموال، الإسلام حرم الربا وحرم الاحتكار وحرم الاكتناز، ووضع عقود التبرع، عقود المعاوضات وعقود المشاركات، ثم بعد ذلك توسع في العقود وخاصة عقود التبرعات التي يبنى عليها الوقف في الإسلام.
Please conclude it.
نعم. أنا أشير إلى نقطة أخيرة. الآن العالم يتميز بعدم استقرار القوة الشرائية للنقود، فنجد أن كبار علماء الإسلام، الأصفهاني في كتابه الذريعة إلى معالم الشريعة يقول أن حكام الأرض في حكام العدل في الأرض ثلاث: حاكم من الله وهو القرآن الكريم، وحاكم يحكم بالقرآن، والحاكم الثالث وهو النقود. فالنقود من جهة وسيلة، وأيضا هي حاكم تحكم وتضبط المعاملات بين الناس على أساس العدل. وأشار إلى ذلك الإمام الماوردي في كتابه الأحكام السلطانية أن استقرار الملك والاستقرار الاجتماعي مرهون باستقرار قيمة النقود. الوسطية لابد أن تكون لها بعد اقتصادي يعتمد على أن الاستهلاك لا إسراف ولا تقتير، والذين إذا أنفقوا لم يسرفوا ولم يقتروا وكان بين ذلك قواما. وشكرا.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sharif,
Thank you very much.
Please give me the 1 minute, okay?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Greetings of peace. I am Exan Sharif from the Conciliation Resources and also International Contact Group on the Bangsamoro Peace Process. Mine is not a question, but rather an insight, because I'd like to resonate with what was highlighted by Dr. Tung Julan on the idea that Wasatiyat and Chongwa should not be taken as religious concepts, but these are concepts that are applicable as human values and identity. Because I'm saying this for us to better understand that not all the conflicts across the globe are coming from a religious perspective, such as the case of the Bangsamoro peace process in the Philippines. While the national government is a Catholic country and the Bangsamoro is Muslim population, it does not necessarily anchor on a religious conflict. Rather, it's an aspiration of self-determination and autonomy. But the way we could better apply these concepts of Wasatiyat and Chongwa is to navigate it not just in the religious perspective, but also applying it as a human value and identity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, it's very profound. Thank you so much. I think we have one question. Yes, please. Yeah, the lady. Yes. Yes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dengan bahasa Indonesia ya. Saya Mufidah Sahid dari Indonesia. Saya ingin bertanya di forum yang mulia ini, apakah tidak perlu kita bicarakan masalah perdamaian di negara-negara yang sedang digenosid, ya, seperti di Gaza, Palestina, dan yang digenosid oleh Israel, dan rakyat Sudan yang dibantai secara kejam oleh bangsanya sendiri, Ini kesempatan untuk memberikan rekomendasi kepada pihak-pihak yang berwenang supaya ada tindakan nyata, supaya ada hasil dari sini yang kemudian bisa membuat perbaikan di perdamaian di kalangan tersebut. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. So we got a very good 3 questions. So I'd like to ask some panelists to respond it. Who could respond to the first question about stability of currency is very important for the stability of the economy. Yeah. Who can? Maybe you are economist. Could you explain? Yeah.
I think I need to answer these questions from the organizer. Please understand that our forum doesn't talk about specific issue or problem, so that we are not talking about the issue of Palestine or the issue of Sudan and many other places. The level of our conversation is the macro level in more ethical and moral values. If we talk about a specific issue, though it's burning issue, will take not only 2 days, but more than 2 days. So, pardon me, apologize to Sister Ibu Mufidah ya, from
Okay, so can you respond? Yeah.
From an Islamic women organization in Indonesia. It's
So
enough.
broadly, yeah, no specific.
There are 2 people, moderator, wants to speak. No.
But I think it's better to answer the question. If we get the question, please, yeah. So could you answer the question?
Actually, as I mentioned before, we discussed about the concept, yeah, combination or both together, Wasatya and Tionghoa values. Any action, policies, and others come from the ideas. If we have ideas, then we go down to the action. So if we establish this concept and this session, we have to answer viability of Wasatya and Tionghoa values in the reality. Yeah? Myself, background as the economist, I could not be standing as political scientist. Yeah? So there should be initiative forum to discuss the aspect of Wasatya and Tionghoa values in the economic term and economic perspective. Also in security and justice, in political and social term. Yeah? So this is what we call viability implementation of Wasatya concept. I just want to inform you that actually at the same time I observed that there are a lot of maybe 10 or 100 forum like this. Yeah? For example, yeah, in International Dialogue between Islam and Confucian Civilization, June 2025 in Kuala Lumpur. Yeah? Maybe we have different perspective also, that the problem of extremism, not in the people of our age, yeah? It is in the young age. So for example, this is a United Nations Alliance and Alliance of Civilization doing a program to have forum among young leaders. Yeah? I think we have to discuss also the next 10 World Peace Forum. We invite the young leaders. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so Professor Tam, there's one question about Mindanao. They say it's not specifically about the conflict between the Muslim and Christianity, but it's about more self-determination. Do you have some broad response about that question?
The Mindanao crisis has been there for a very long time, and I think it is not just a conflict between Muslims and Christians, but perhaps it also has geographical issues, impact on the state of Sabah in Malaysia. So I think what has been done is that there have been various peace negotiations that have taken place. Some have worked, some have not, but I think we got to keep pushing for continue dialogue and understanding and to bring different groups together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In terms of question about the genocide in Gaza, we have a special session about Palestine starting from 4 o'clock today, so I hope we can have intensive discussion on that issues. I would like to ask Dr. Zulkifli Hadi, Director of Cordoba University, Indonesia. Yes, the floor is yours. Where is he?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me the opportunity. In fact, we have to say that this conference, this two-days conference, is a very, very important conference. As we talk here, how to collaborate between wasatiyat in Islam, wasatiyat Islam, and Tionghoa philosophy. As we know that there are 2 billion Muslims in the world and 1.5 billion Chinese in the world. And of course, these two parts of citizens in the world, people in the world, is a very big amount. And for the next, I think we can also add the wisdom of West in this, such as this conference. I want to say that if we speak about peace, there is no peace without justice. And of course, there is no justice without fairness and equality. Equality before the law, equality of economic, this is the equality in distribution of resources and opportunity, of course, in the economic, and also the equality of social, the resource or the opportunity to education and health. Therefore, I think we have to say and to socialize this discourse of our value, what we have discussed in these 2 days, because we have to need, or we need the power, hard power and soft power to incur and to apply our value and our discourses and our global collaboration between us in this 2 days conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, do you have some comment? Yeah, hopefully by 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you very much. لضمان محمد زيتون من إندونيسيا لضمان إحياء التعاون السلمي أو السلام التعاون الدولي وكذلك السلم الدولي على أساس الوسطية أو تيونغهوا لا بد من وجود المجلس التنسيقي بين كبار الشخصيات في العالم الذين فعلا معروفون بهذا الموضوع زمنا طويلا، وإلا سيذهب هذه الجهود سدى وتذهب في الرياح. نعم، ولذلك في هذا المؤتمر المبارك، خاصة نحن في المؤتمر التاسع، لا بد من إيجاد هذا المجلس التنسيقي يعني يشمل جميع من يهتم بهذا الموضوع، ثم يقيم هذا في كل دولة. في كل دولة هناك مجلس تنسيقي على مستوى الدولة، وبهذا يتم التعاون على شكل مستمر وبناء. شكرا.
Thank you so much for your great suggestion. I really appreciate. Can I ask Dr. Chasunuru Marithi, University Indonesia?
Husnul Mar'iyah from University of Indonesia.
No? Yeah. Please, yes. Please, yes.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I feel when we're discussing Wasatiyah, it has make feel good. But unfortunately, in the political situation, with our global situation now, we have challenge with the modern nation state secularism, you know, with the principle of the separation of religion and politics. And then back history of Tordesillas, Zaragoza, colonialism, World War I, World War II, and then now with a development. But development means materialism, progress, technology, but lack of morality. So if we discuss about this, against this situation, the product of the dominant liberalism, like follow with Professor Didi Cirahbini, we are facing now with the situation of VUCA, volatile, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So what can we do? We have radicalism, Islam, Jewish, harem means to exterminate every single life. So that's why with a Jewish teaching, what happened in Gaza is like that. Also, it's also the challenge of the Christian Zionists we have now. So what should we do? What can we do? I think ethics, it's very important that when I ask question about Wasatiyah and Professor Dean discuss about the category of Wasatiyah, the justice and so on and so forth, I'm so afraid if we are not talking with a politician, with our respective countries, each of us, then become the concept that we are discussing, what is like very difficult to implement. So that's why one of the myths, I think culture is also very important. Ibu Lung, yeah, discussing, but what kind of culture, the imperative of culture is to serve the divine revelation. I think this is important. So I think our collaboration among faith become must, you know. So, but we have to discuss, of course, like as a women activist also, how to bring the marginal into the center, how to bring also women to understand about Wasatiyah and to teach our next generation. So it's a lot of work of us, I think. But with collaboration, interfaith collaboration, and also to bring the marginal into the center, we become more optimistic.
Thank
the
you.
importance of Wasatiyah in this issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm sorry that we have only 10 minutes left. So I would like to give each panelist to speak for maybe 1.5 minutes, so that we can finish by 12 o'clock. So maybe we can start from Miss Ermina. Yes. Final remark. Maybe 1 minute each. Yes.
We have very useful exchange opinions. And yes, and I'm very obliged, and Mr. Din Shamsuddin. But you know what I said, I think that very important is education. Education, because it concerning our youth, and our youth is our future, and so on. I think we should tell them how we should live in the peaceful world, because from youth, we know in which world we should live. So it's my opinion that education and youth, it's our main line in the our topic which we decide, which we today about we speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Tang? Mr. Tang, can you? No, where's Tang 3 Michael? It's you, right? Yeah, 1 minute final conclusion. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you very much. I will be very brief. I have earlier said that to ensure we are able to keep and maintain peace, we need to have more collaborative dialogue, more consultation. We need to also ensure that there is economic, social, and environmental justice. Because with justice, as someone has said, peace will come. So we need to ensure that. We need to also move beyond rhetoric. I think we have heard a lot of views been exposed, been expressed. So perhaps it's time to call for action. And I hope the World Peace Forum under Professor Dean will come up with an action plan that we can move forward to some concrete action. One proposal I had put forward earlier in my presentation is perhaps to focus on partnership and collaboration on the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which encompasses various sectors of development, all aspects of development, poverty, hunger, education, life underwater, partnership for growth. So I think if we can prioritize the SDGs, that can be one very practical agenda for this World Peace Forum to move forward. Peace and sustainability goes hand in hand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Ms. Tang, yeah, you have 1 minute to make final remarks.
Thank you. I think I agree with everybody talking about youth and education, but actually we are not talking about formal education, because from my experience working with the young people, what they really need is a life skill, you know, because for example, how to develop economic, but the problem is Indonesia especially, you try to help the young people based on your religion, but not across religion. But when you're talking about market, this is totally not based on one religion. So I think what we have to do is helping them, because in the future, with the environmental degradation and everything, they have a problem of competition. And then the way of working is rather different. So I think we have to do more research on the youth people, and then try to help them to solve the social problem. That's the life skill I mean. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So, Dr. Lachibini? Yes, yes. Yeah.
I will try, sorry, thank you. I will try to explain. First of all, I mean religion education. For example, in Republic of Tatarstan, there are a Bulgar Islamic Academy and more than 100 students. And we staff the Center of Interreligion Dialogue. So in this stay, we are trying to tell them what we live in the multicultural society, and they should be ready to work with the people. You know, what does that mean? What I mean?
Thank you, thank you. No, it's great. Yeah, thank you very much. So, Doctor, yeah.
Okay, we have in this session a very deep concept about morality. Yeah? Almost all Islamic teaching, yeah, Islam coming to the world to improve the morality, only one word. So these two, Wasatya and Tionghoa values, we have to implement in collaboration in 3 levels. The first in the ideas, concept, teaching, and others. And the second in policy with the government, non-government, and the third in the action in the reality. Bapak Tan Sri, maybe in his corporation, Pak Din and University, and so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Dr. Sachirein, I'm sure you have a lot of things that you want to say, but it's 1 minute.
Good, we've got 1.5 minutes. Way I conclude the session and the various points raised are 3 key points that have come out. One, I think it is clearly understood that Wasatiyya and the Tiongyo are universal principles that need to be applied, but the distinction between its application in the Muslim majority countries and where the Muslims are in minorities have got different strategies, different way of looking into it. And therefore this is one area where our fulcrum association that comes about needs to deal with it. The second point is the importance of the youth leadership and how we can encourage and enable them to play that key role in this difficult society and countries that we live in. And I think the recent election of Zohran Mamdani, who is proudly saying, I'm a Muslim, it's a very important message to our young generation that we should not be hesitant in declaring ourselves or when we are conveying our messages across that we are Muslims, because there is a very powerful message coming in through Islamophobia in the West, where there is an attack on the community that we should remain calm and silent and do not express ourselves in that very positive way. And finally, I hope that there will be a clear action plan that emerges from our discussions today, and this is where the global fulcrum can play a key role in conveying messages to both Muslim countries and non-Muslim countries, and of course the principle of all faiths who can benefit from this as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great. Yeah. So I'd like to give the floor to PDT Maniputi. Yes, for 1 minute.
Thank you so much. And let me share my briefly conclusion. And I just want to underline that we share many in common. That is why we need to work together in more practical ways. I am convinced that this principle of equality of the middle path, we can build a strong ethical foundation for world change. Although it's not easy to require a global consensus in a fragmented world right away. But we need a strong institutional frameworks to translate these noble values into action. That is why we are here. And thank you so much again to organize this fruitful conference meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So Professor Hideyato?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I like and very much impressed by this forum. I think all of us is a cultural being raised by the culture, and within this culture meets religion, morality, humanity, spirit of life, and so on. So to be moderate, wasatiyah is mode of being. How to organize those to be more productive and contributive in terms of building civilization. I think that those different culture and religion at the end of the day is how to contribute in terms of building civilization. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the cooperation by all the speakers. I'm very happy to conclude these sessions. I'm non-religious, which is very typical for the Japanese, but I learned so many things from this session. So I really appreciate all of the participants. I also appreciate Dr. Dean, who appointed me as a moderator for today. So I finish my session. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much to our moderator. Arigato. Professor Dr. Daisaku Higashi. He is professor at Sophia University in Tokyo, specializing in mediation and peace building. So he deserves to be a moderator, and also to all seat speakers, 7 seat speakers, in my observation from very close distance that we have been successful in pouring the seeds in the fields, and the seeds are now growing, and our conversation is not ended by this final session in our forum. As a matter of announcements from the housekeeping section from the hotel, I am a new manager. Soon after this, we close and we meet for luncheon hosted by the Ministry of Religious Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia in another room called Puri Ratna. Puri Ratna. Just go out from this Puri Agung to the left, and there is a signage to Puri Ratna in the same level. Starting at 12:30. 12:30, we have 25 minutes for the Muslim maybe to pray Zohor, and be ready at Puri Ratna at the second floor, just a junction to this room, a smaller boardroom. At 2 o'clock, or maybe earlier, there will be additional session, which is important, where the two laureates, Nobel Prize recipient laureates, will be giving messages. Mr. Jose Ramos Horta, who is now current president of the Republic of Timor-Leste, Nobel Peace Laureate 1996, a long time ago, and Mr. Jiro Komasumi, Secretary General of Nihon Hindankyo. How do you pronounce it? Nihon Hindankyo, Nobel Peace Laureate 2024, who will be speaking online. Okay? Only Nobel Laureates messages, no discussion, from 1:45 to 2:30, and then followed by the closing ceremony. Oh, so sorry. Prior to the closing ceremony at 2:30, in this Puri Agung, in this room, there will be additional event at the end of our today meeting, conferment of the Benevolent Award, from the World Peace Forum, from our co-organizer, Chengho Multicultural Education Trust, to, no problem to mention the name earlier, because the nomination committee will announce it. Conferment of the Benevolent Award, penganugerahan sebuah the benevolent kepada seseorang, which include the reading of the nomination letter or declaration from the nominating committee, and then acceptance speech by the recipient, and soon in this room will be closing ceremony of the 9th World Peace Forum, which include hopefully two important speeches and messages. Number one from His Eminence, Professor Dr. Syekh Abbas Shuman, former Deputy of Vice Grand Sheikh of Al-Azhar, Wakilul Azhar As-Sabiq, and then the Minister of Religious Affairs will address and will give the concluding remarks. And also there is a reading of the conclusion, if not the declarations of the 9th World Peace Forum. That's all. Please remind the time. Be ready at Puri Ratna for luncheon at 12:30. You still have 20 minutes. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The third session of the panel has elapsed. Now we would like to have your kind attention, ladies and gentlemen. First, please kindly do not bring the translation receiver device outside of the hall. please kindly hand it over to the committee at the front exit door. Second, after this session, please be ready for the luncheon hosted by the Minister of the Religious Affairs at Puri Ratna Room. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind you once more, please kindly do not bring the translation receiver device to outside of the hall. Please kindly hand it over to the committee at the front door. And after this session, please be ready for the luncheon hosted by the Minister of the Religious Affairs at Puri Ratna Room at 12:30. Thank you.